Hi guys, it's Ryan G. Wright with DoHardMoney.com, and today I'm coming to you with a Just Ask Ryan question of the day. If you're new to the channel, every single day I do a Just Ask Ryan question of the day about real estate investing, finance. If you have a question you'd like me to answer in this Just Ask Ryan question of the day, please type it in the comments below and I'd be happy to answer that question for you and for all of our other YouTube subscribers. So today's question is, how do house auctions work? Most people don't know about this, but there's actually two different types of auctions. There's private auctions, and then there is also public auctions. And I want to talk about the difference of each of those. So a public auction is the way that a bank takes back the asset that they did the loan for. So basically what this is it's a public auction. It's typically done at the courthouse steps, or it could be another designated area. And before this auction has happened, a notice of default, a notice of sale, or lis pendens has been done, notifying the world and the individual that has the loan that this property is going to get foreclosed on. The final process of that foreclosure, or the very end of that foreclosure, is what's called an auction. And what happens is a representative, typically an attorney representing the bank, comes and says, we're going to open the auction for XYZ 123 Main Street. With that, they will give an opening bid. The opening bid comes from the bank, who is the one that had the loan on the property. Then anybody else can then make another bid on the property. Depending upon the rules, it may have to increase in $100 increments or $1,000 increments, but bids need to be made. If nobody bids, then the bank gets the property back, and the property's theirs, and then they can fix it up, sell it, rent it, do whatever they want. If somebody else makes a bid, then the bank gets to decide if they want to bid again. See, the bank can start an opening bid for less than what's owed to them, but they can bid it up to equal to what's owed to them with fees and costs and attorneys fees, those types of things. If they don't bid up and a private party bids a higher amount, that private party then has the opportunity to purchase that property. And depending upon the state, but in my state, they have 24 hours to bring all their cash to the closing table, which is why it makes it really hard to do hard money loans when you're dealing with an auction property. Also, with an auction property, you're not able to go inside the property, so you don't know what you're buying. You could walk in and see an absolute disaster or something that's absolutely beautiful, and in most cases, you can't get title insurance either, and so that can be problematic. If you're wanting to do those types of things, you need to pay cash with your own cash, and then refinance that with a hard money lender, so that you can then use your cash to go buy at another auction. That's typically the best way to do that on auction properties. The other type of auction is called a private auction. This is where a company, like a bank, will hire a company to do a private auction where they'll have a bunch of assets, a bunch of properties, and they want to auction them all off to the highest bidder. With these, you typically do get full title insurance, and you typically are able to get a loan on the property when you're dealing with a private auction. The idea is that they are going to get you hyped up and get you to pay more, but it also gets the bank a bunch of inventory off their books all at once. So it's a great way for banks to actually unload properties. I've been to a lot of these auctions. I've bought one property, maybe two, from a private type auction. They can get pretty competitive, which for me, that just means lower margins, making less money. So off-market properties, I think, is probably a better strategy, but it's something to consider, because you got to have a lot of lines in if you want to catch a big fish. So that's the difference. That's what auctions. The auctions are basically highest bidder. It's going to go up in increments. There's usually a lot of hype. If it's a courthouse auction, there's not a lot of hype, but it's a lot of pressure, because basically the attorney says, we're starting the bid for 123 Main Street. Opening bid's $100,000. Do I have another bid? And if other people bid, 101, 102, 105, 106, 107, 121, 150. Do I hear 151? Do I hear 151? Nope. Going once at 150. Going twice at 150. Third time, 150, sold. And it's over that fast. Now, if you're at a private auction, they've got the music blaring, they've got callers out there. Typically in a private auction, they'll have people that are planted, and those people that are planted are representing the bank, but it helps get the excitement going, and so people will go higher on offers, and that's kind of how the auction works. If you want some tips on auctions, my number one tip is have a price and don't go over it. Determine how much you're willing to pay. Don't go over that no matter what, even for $1,000 over, because if you go over a little bit, it's really easy to go over a lot. So that's probably the biggest tip with that. And the second tip is don't get emotional, because the whole process is very emotional when you're dealing with auctions. So that's a little bit about private auctions, a little bit about public auctions, a little bit of strategy on auctions of determining your price and making sure you don't go over that, and how all the process works with real estate auctions. If you found this information helpful, please hit the thumbs up button. It's a great help for me to know what you're enjoying. And if you'd like me to answer a question of the day, type it in the comments below. I've got a couple of videos that I know you're going to enjoy. You're going to want to check out finding deals through private auctions. I've got a whole video on that. And then I've got another video on finding deals through estate sales, which is another great way to find properties. And if you want help finding properties, we've got an amazing software called Investor's Edge. Give us a call. Let's see if we might be a good fit for each other. Or if you need money in funding some of your investments, check us out at dohardmoney.com. We'd love to chat with you. Otherwise, make it a very profitable day, and bye for now.